At the Jesuits, people are like, who are the Jesuits? Why are you bringing them up? So let's do a history lesson. Let's start off by going back to the 1400s. This is the Dark Ages, where the papacy ruled over everything in Europe. It's where you had the serfs and the knights and all that stuff. You also had the beginning of the Sail Age. Jewish merchants were basically their own class. You had proper Catholic monarchies, and we were entering the Age of Discovery, where America was found, and Spain and Portugal were leading the way, conquering South America and America. They also discovered a lot of occultism and new diseases. And in the 1500s, you've got the real growth of the Renaissance. You've got the Spanish Empire that's taken over the world. Alchemy and chemistry, the Reformation, and the Spanish Inquisition. Spain was really serious about cracking down on Jews in particular, but also Muslims, heretics, which were martyrs, and scientists, anyone trying to proclaim differently than the Catholic worldview. But it was the persecution of the Jews in particular that led to the formation of the predecessor of the Jesuits, Los Alumbrados, which was a secret society. So as the 1400s come into the 1500s, the Vatican is being stretched to its uttermost limit, and the Inquisition is there to crack down on different groups who are trying to gain their independence. Los Alumbrados is a secret society. A lot of them are conversos Jews. That means Jews that were forced to convert to Catholicism. Anyone who's interested in alchemy or science or new ways of thinking. Anyone who's into the occult with all the new knowledge that was coming in from around the world thanks to sail and the discovery of new continents. Any international traders or military spies who wanted to be in this secret international society that was well connected and highly intelligent. The Catholic Church preferred things to be like the Dark Ages, where everyone was super ignorant and they were the only ones who knew anything. There's a lot of Italians, Spanish people, and Jews in this society, including this guy, Ignatius Loyola. Let's talk about the founder of the Jesuits. His name is Ignatius Loyola. He was a member of Los Alumbrados, and he converted that to the Jesuits. How did that happen? Well, he was a Spanish nobleman who was fighting in a war, got hit by a cannonball, and then while he was hospitalized, he got put under the Inquisition trial for being in a secret society. A secret society where mysticism, sex magic, ritual, sacrifice, all sorts of things were happening, so it was really dangerous. He managed to appeal to the Pope and have a conversation where they agreed to convert Los Alumbrados, which means the illuminated ones, to the Catholic and Vatican service. Prophetically, this unlocks the third rider of Revelation, the black rider with the scales for measurement. The scales represent science, black representing the occult. And sure enough, the Jesuits are famous for always wearing black. They're also famous for having total immunity from the Inquisition. They often contradicted the Pope, and they still do. Scientific elites, and they led the counter-ref. As we dive deeper into studying the Jesuits, I just want to remind you, from May 2021 until July 2022, Society of Jesus celebrates an Ignatian year, 500th anniversary of Ignatius Loyola's conversion. His conversion to Satan starts in May. You recognize this guy? If you said that this is the face of Anonymous, you're wrong. If you said it's the guy from V for Vendetta, you're wrong. If you said it's Guy Fawkes, you're correct. But who was Guy Fawkes? Well, he's the most famous member of the so-called Gunpowder Plot of 1605. On the 5th of November, remember? The plan was to put a bunch of gunpowder under the House of Parliament and blow it up to kill King James and the Parliament. Wait, that can't be the same King James as... Yep, the same King James that commissioned an English Bible. You see, the King James Bible was commissioned in 1604, 1 year before that big conspiracy. In fact, it was Guy Fawkes himself who confessed that it was all a Jesuit conspiracy to blow up King James in the House of Parliament so that they could install a Catholic government in Britain. Now that's a part of the story nobody gets told. That's how much the Catholic Church, the Vatican, and the Jesuits hate the idea of us having a Bible that we can read for ourselves. So let's laugh at him for being a big loser. Do you recognize this? If you said that's the all-seeing eye, you're correct. If you said that it belongs to the Illuminati, a secret society founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, also known as Spartacus, you're also correct. But did you know that Adam Weishaupt was a Jesuit? Notice how both the icons have these sun rays coming off of them? That's because they represent the Enlightenment, an illumination. Even though the Jesuits were technically an anti-Protestant paramilitary spy order designed to kill Protestants everywhere they lived. See, in 1773, the Pope officially abolished the Jesuits forever because they were so caught up in political scandals and trying to overthrow Protestant governments and kill them, such as the Gunpowder Plot of 1605. It just so happens that Adam Weishaupt, this Jesuit, became a professor of canon law at a Jesuit university that same year. And then 3 years later, the same year America was founded, which would eventually have the all-seeing eye on its dollar bill. That's when Adam Weishaupt formed his group. Adam Weishaupt became an undercover Jesuit agent. The Illuminati was founded by a Jesuit 3 years after the Jesuits were abolished permanently by the Pope. In other words, the Jesuits just put on a new mask and became Enlightenment philosophers. They still formed a secret society. They still tried to control everything. They used all the same resources, but now they called themselves the Illuminati. And why did they go back to the Illuminati? Well, according to the Catholic Encyclopedia, the Illuminati is the Alumbrados. Alumbrados was the name used by mystics in Spain in the 16th century. That's the 1500s. They had their own idea of how the Bible worked. They said that carnal desires could be indulged as much as you wanted to, as long as you were considered to be inside God. And look at this. The Inquisition even said that it had Saint Ignatius of Loyola as one of its members. So Ignatius Loyola and Alumbrados Illuminati created the Jesuits, which got abolished, and then a Jesuit created the... Have you ever seen this movie? The Mission, starring Robert De Niro and Jeremy Irons. Made in 1986, where Robert De Niro plays a Jesuit. In fact, they both played Jesuits, and there's Liam Neeson also playing a Jesuit. Now, the movie claims to be based on a true story, and that is partially true. It deals with the Jesuit reductions, which is what I've talked about before. It's what the Israeli kibbutz system is based on, and what communism derives from. The Jesuits snuck into the South American indigenous place, got the natives to start basically worshiping them as, messengers from God. And they turned that group into an extremely profitable bunch of slaves who didn't think of themselves as being slaves. They thought of themselves as being a church. And then when Portugal took over that area, they wanted to kick out the Jesuits and take that land for themselves. But then the Jesuits fought against them and waged war against them and ultimately lost. The movie's propaganda and tries to make them look like the good guys.
Really going. We things are really